Can you hear now? Don't know why YouTube is not getting any volume. Everything is working the way it's supposed to. Not sure what's wrong with YouTube. Shauna, can you do me a favor and go to YouTube and see if you can hear me over there? They're saying they can't hear me at all. I know, Rhonda. I don't know why you can't hear me over there on YouTube. Thanks, Don. I'm not sure why you're not hearing me. The sound's working. Everything is working. So, all right. So, what I wanted to do before we get started. Okay, now you can hear. Don can hear now. So, before we get started, and if you would again swipe and invite people so they can be here and listening to what we're having to say this morning, and hopefully it'll be great people that we have here this morning. And like yesterday, hey Barbara, thanks for being with us. I did put we were going to pray in the beginning, so I think that scared a lot of people off. Hey, Sally, good to see you. If you could please swipe and invite. Hey, Nicole, good to see you, King. Hopefully Harry doesn't. Yeah, I know, Patrick, that was ridiculous. Okay, good, Shauna. Thank you. No, Shauna's over there now, Rhonda, and she's saying that she can hear on YouTube, and so can Dawn. So I'm not sure why now. You should be able to hear. Hey, Huey, good to see you. Ann, good to see you on Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us. Praying doesn't scare good people. That's right, Jeremy. That's right. You got that right. All right. So I would like to start out in saying a prayer for the victims in Manchester. I'd like to read a psalm that most of you really like, and a lot of times when I do my scopes at night and have prayer, hey Monique, you like to request this one, so I'd like to read this for you. It is Psalm 91, safety of abiding in the presence of God. And those victims now who are tragically lost their lives yesterday, they are abiding in the safety of God now and don't have to worry about things that we have to worry about here. Yeah, I know, Monique. Don't be distracted, Monique, by the hearings. Don't be distracted. Let your mind go away from the hearings for 5 minutes, because it's pretty much just garbage for the most part. Okay. Good morning, Danny. Good to see you. Okay, Psalm 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place, no evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra. The young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Now, I'd also like to read another psalm. This is a psalm. I wonder if that refers to current day missiles. Yeah, I know, Huey. The Bible, as we all know, is the living word and the living Bible. So Everything that you're reading in there can absolutely be attributed to today and what's going on. I'd like to read, thanks, Gluten Free New Jersey. Thank you, Daniel. I would like to read Psalm 140, prayer for deliverance from evil men. And I think this is for the people who are ISIS, people who are trying to do evil, that trying to stop God, trying to stop God's people. I wanted to read this to you for that purpose. And when I'm reading that, if you will, hey Amanda, think about those people who are evil in your life, people in evil in the world that you know, asking God to protect you from them. Deliver me, O Lord, from evil men. Preserve me from violent men who plan evil things in their hearts. They continually gather together for war. They sharpen their tongues like a serpent. The poison of asps is under their lips. Selah. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from violent men who have proposed to make my steps stumble. The proud have hidden a snare for me and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set traps for me. Selah. I said to the Lord, you are my God. Hear the voice of my supplications, O Lord. O God, the Lord, the strength of my salvation, you have covered my head in the day of battle. Do not grant, O Lord, the desires of the wicked. Do not further his wicked scheme, lest they be exalted. As for the head of those who surround me, let the evil of their lips cover them. Let burning coals fall upon them. Let them be cast into the fire, into deep pits that they rise not up again. Let not a slanderer be established in the earth. Let evil hunt the violent man to overthrow him. I know that the Lord will maintain the cause of the afflicted and justice for the poor. Surely the righteous shall give thanks to your name. The upright shall dwell in your presence. So that is a prayer of protection for all of us and against those who are evil that would do harm. Yes, Huey, ISIS has vowed to make us stumble. Makes you pray for this, for the yes, against the evil that's coming against our president. I even heard people yesterday, some of the most vile things that I've heard and the evil coming out of people. I wish for their, hey Monique over on YouTube, I wish for their salvation because I feel that some people are stumbling and have fallen and don't even realize it. An article that I wrote today and I posted was of a young man who was on Twitter yesterday, sort of, I don't know, making light of what happened in Manchester, making a joke about it, even when people asked him to please stop doing it and that it was inappropriate. He just became more emboldened, if you will, more arrogant. And I don't know what emptiness has to be in a person's heart. And obviously, maybe somebody who's never gone through something like this in their family, or that when they see a tragedy, they don't really see it. And I pray for those people that they would open their minds and open their hearts, that they would see that what they're doing and the attitude that they're taking is really contributing to the destruction, contributing to the evil and what people are going through. I'm not saying that they're hurting anybody. They're not physically killing anyone. I'm not saying that. But they are adding to it. You know, whatever in our hearts and in our minds, the evil, the sickness, and whatever that we have, the ill will that we have towards people, it affects others. When they see the faces of the victims, I don't know how they can defend terrorism or Islam. I don't either, Patrick. I really don't know. And you know that yesterday in Manchester, the victims, one was an 18-year-old that got killed and an 8-year-old. History of these families are ever changed and hearts are broken. Yes. And I don't know how anybody could look at that and find anything humorous about it, anything to be arrogant about. If anything, it should be a time of humbling yourself before God rather than doing that. And sometimes I think that people are just so, you know, yeah, maybe Ariana will grow up now, Barbara. So, you know, I just think sometimes people are just so filled with, let me get the clicks on Periscope and Twitter that they don't think about human beings. Amanda said, praying for all families of the bombing and their families. People are getting desensitized. Get on your knees, Barbara said. Yes, humble yourself before God. This is a time that, it's spoken about that we would be entering into. They are sheep until it happens to their family. Yes, Cully. It's so true. You're welcome, Mike, for the sharing of God's word. Should do it more often. I know I should. Uh, but I can't even. Ariana Grande should donate all the earnings for that concert to the families. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to place blame on Ariana Grande. I mean, I know she said some things that probably she shouldn't have said about America. Somebody was pointing that out. Um, you know, but I mean, it would be nice if she did something for the families. I know she's not obligated to, but I think it would be nice that she did. I honestly believe that she's genuinely, as she said in her Twitter post, broken. Okay, Carrie, great. Carrie. So I think that, again, we just have to pray for people who may be misguided. We have to pray for that their eyes would be open. I know. I can't even imagine. In the article that I wrote on SusanKnowles.com, there was a man who was there to pick up his daughter. And he said that when the blast went off, he was thrown about 30 feet. And he went and looked among the dead bodies to try and find his daughter. I mean, I can't even imagine that. Brennan is literally shaking, testifying on C-SPAN about Russia. Well, good morning, Asher. Good to see you. Asher, we just had prayers, Psalm 91 and 140, if you want to read those later. Yeah, I know that. I mean, I can't even imagine looking through, number one, going and looking through dead bodies, and number two, trying to find your child amongst the dead. It's absolutely crazy. And I think, one of the things I think that desensitizes, let's see, Jeremy, you would be better off hanging a millstone around your neck and throwing yourself into the sea than harm my children. It's time to unsheath the sword. And Jeremy says, yes, Jeremy. When I was 23, I lost my mother and 4-year-old son, 10 days apart. Death and loss is indescribable. Oh, my gosh. Teresa, that's horrible. Tillman, I didn't see that. If you could repost what you just said. I saw that you said something, but I couldn't read it. Monique was up until 3:30 praying for the victims and for the world leaders to open their eyes. This is going to really impact Ariana and her attitude towards America and hopefully terrorism. Oh, Tillman, I'm just holding it because this way I don't have to go like this, look over here and like that. I can just sort of point it to where I'm going, and then people over on YouTube can continue to hear me, because if I look away and I'm not having it right where it should be, then they can't hear me. And they're the ones that need the mic, because you guys have the mic that are in the devices. Yeah. Heard it. I'm working and listening. Good, Asher. Why were there children there left unattended? Well, I think some of the kids were like 18. Some of the parents dropped them off and they came back and got them. I don't think that's unusual. And some of the parents died right along with their children. So I don't know. I mean, I think that I have watched someone die. I have also, when I was in the academy, I had to go to the morgue and see dead bodies and watch what was happening in autopsies. I, no matter what I saw, it's not as bad as what the veterans have seen and what they've been through. It changes you. It makes you to the point where you get it. You understand what's going on. Parents always leave teens at concerts. Today it's common. Yes. Hey, Monica, good to see you. Hey, good morning, Marlene. Good to see you. So I think, maybe this young man on Twitter has never seen that happening and doesn't understand that, a joke in in that time is not good, is not appropriate. Monique said that she's watching some news, and they are astounded about the extreme left and American journalism pushing fake news on Russia collusion with no evidence to support their claims. Well, they shouldn't be surprised. It is sad news, Marlene. Very sad news. So now the total of 22 dead, 59 injured. As in, yes, I went through the police academy training, Shauna. Uh, press speeches have, yeah, the president has been absolutely wonderful. The president has just been amazing. It seemed like his time in Israel was so short as compared in in as compared to. Hold on one second. Little business to take care about. I know, I know, Shauna. I don't fit in any type of mold. Trust me. Um, I forget what I was saying. I got distracted by somebody I needed to block. Yeah, he needed to speak. Oh, but it seems like that he was in a very short period of time in Israel as compared to Saudi Arabia. But so much was done. Yeah, the 23-year-old, yes, suicide bomber that's alleged. Solomon. I don't know if they had video, and maybe that's how they knew. I'm not sure. They didn't say how they knew who it was. But it's obvious in this event that they were targeting children. Saudis need to show off Israel. We know are cool with us. That's true, Barbara. Uh, Jeremy said, when are people going to wake up and stop these Muslims? I know they say it's only the radicals, but I don't see any moderates calling them out. I think a lot of the moderates are afraid to do it. Not even necessary for them to hold off on calling it terrorist attack. And somebody else said it is possible that the Saudis may want to try to reform and help us. I think it's a possibility. I think it's something that is hopeful. I don't know if I put 100% trust in it right now. Jeremy, I can say that there are very good Muslims, but there are those that adhere strictly to the Quran and Islam. Those are the ones that you have to watch. Yes, Carrie, I think we do have to try. And we have been allies with Saudi Arabia since 1923. This isn't something new. This isn't new for a president to try to get peace in the Middle East. People act like, Donald Trump's going over with his eyes closed, to Saudi Arabia. We've been allies since 1923. I don't think the president regrets it, Carrie. I think he knew not exactly what he was getting into, but he knew it was going to be difficult. They found origination of the blast and watched the camera footage to backtrack to the person with the bomb, Shauna said. I believe that. People don't get it. People also, and I'm telling you, I know that I don't care that Islamic extremism is a minority in Islam. It doesn't really matter. As I said, those people who strictly adhere to Islam and follow through on it, those are the people that you need to be concerned with. I don't care if it's one person or 100,000 people. I don't really care. Doesn't make a difference to me. Anybody who's an extremist needs to be watched. But I do those shows about Islam and having the experts on for a reason. And again, that's at Spreaker.com. If you go there, just type in my name and listen to some of those shows. Yes, we should select our immigrant candidates accordingly. Yes. Well, Desert, that's your opinion. My opinion's different. So we can agree to disagree. Rhonda said President Trump could get a peace treaty in Middle East and liberals would still find something wrong. Asher said, okay, Asher's talking. Pink spray everywhere. I don't know what that means. God bless all those affected and their families. Lord, help us, show us how to do it. Yep. But we do have to wake up and realize, what is going on. And those people who want to remain asleep, I guess they will remain asleep. But, Hindus do work hard, go to the front of the class, and don't impose their faith. So, yeah, well, it doesn't matter if Muslims are the first victims or the second or the third. That's not the point. Christians are also of victims. Other people are also victims. A victim is a victim no matter what order that they come in. Jeremy said radicalized Muslims, according to studies, are between 180 million to 300 million. That's the population of a mid-sized country. Yeah, I think I heard somebody yesterday, one of the Periscope pundits, actually come out and say that what happened in Manchester was basically due uh, because of Jared Kushner. I know, Marcus. Uh, so so basically, Jared Kushner, who yeah, kind of being blamed for the whole Saudi deal that we were fooled in Saudi Arabia, and that was all because of Jared Kushner, sort of having the ear of the president, and then because of him being in Saudi Arabia making the deal, then we have what happened in Manchester, and basically, all goes back to Jared Kushner. So I don't know. Maybe you can figure it out. Monique is just I don't know. How offbeat can they be? I'm not sure, Barbara. I just don't know. Uh, I think some people just want to clickbait. They just want clicks, and they'll say anything. I'm starting to figure out that people will just say anything. They will spin absolutely anything to get their way and their agenda going. I don't know. So I guess Jared Kushner is the I guess he's the Antichrist, and everything that happens is because of him. I'm being facetious, but I'm just saying. That's kind of what I'm hearing on Periscope, Twitter, and everything. Yeah, hate from anyone is just fueling the fire. Uh, I've been getting sick with those conservatives as much as I do for liberals. Tillman said, "You dog." I lost respect for Jack and Cernovich yesterday. I know, Huey. Oh, you did? Oh, God. Tillman. Okay. Scary. Good morning, Robert. Good to see you. Uh, oh, oh my goodness. It's just that that's why I say you have to do some of your own research. You really do. Free will to choose to be terrorist. Blame is on the shoulders of the perpetrator, according to yes, it's a Yogi Berra moment, Tillman. To Rhonda, Max. Good morning, Max. How are you? Good to see you. Jared Kushner is a Zionist mob member, according to Jeremy. You know, I don't know. I don't know Jared Kushner, and I know what I'm seeing. Am I 100% on board with Jared? No. Do I 100% think that he's evil and everything that people talk about? No. So I don't know where it all falls. Seth Rich thing is blowing up with info. He was alive at the hospital. Doctor said his wounds were recoverable. Who said that, Jerry? Because some things that people say may not necessarily be true. I don't know who that is saying that. Yeah, I know. Patrick said saying Kushner is to blame for terrorists is like saying Trump is a Russian agent. Yeah, I think that some people, what they're trying to say is that we shouldn't be over in Saudi Arabia. We shouldn't have done what we did the other day. Saudi Arabia has always stabbed us in the back because they have state-sponsored terrorism, so it's like we shouldn't be doing that. Well, let me just tell you, we've known about Saudi Arabia since 1923. We continue to work with them for whatever reason, for better, for worse. Yeah, there's a tendency for people to place blame, Palmer said. Saudi Arabia is our most important ally in the Middle East, according to Patrick. Patrick, you can judge a man by the company he keeps, and Jared Kushner keeps bad company. You got to start somewhere, Shauna said. He took two to the back, lived an hour and 45 minutes, Don said. That was about Seth Rich. And they're a big war material. They're our big war material customer, yes. Yeah, I mean, we've always sold arms to Saudi Arabia. That's nothing new. Again, they're trying to make it look like it's all Trump. That's what he's doing. It never has happened before. Seth Rich medical status at the hospital was allegedly leaked by medical staff. Yeah, I think I don't know when you're looking at Jared and Ivanka, their friends are Democrats because they're Democrats. Their friends are those people who are, yeah, the Soros money with Kushner is worrisome. It really is. But as I was saying, the people that run, they run in the same circles. They all run in the same circles. Money brings people together that are in the same circles. I know that Kushner, from what I've read on his address, his business investment, that Soros did pay money to that business investment, from what I understand. Yeah, yeah. Well, Patrick's saying Trump in the end makes all the decisions, and I guess what some of the pundits are saying is that Trump's not the one really making the decisions. It's Jared Kushner, which I don't believe so. Um, Asher said if you really look at Trump, he's an old school Democrat. Rhonda said birds of a feather flock together. And the old school Democrats were more Republican than many of the Republicans are today, Asher. You know. And Shauna said Trump is an old school patriot. So, I mean, you have to look at things and see what's really going on. Tillerson yesterday came out and he said some things that they asked. Of course, the left asked, well, what does Trump think about Muslims now? And he's saying, Trump is continuing to learn about them. He is still better than Hillary any day of the week. Carrie, I agree. That is right. Yeah. Yeah, Asher. They were different then. They were almost, like the Republicans. President Trump is actually more moderate. Shauna said he really wants what's best for the citizens in this country, making the rest of us wealthier or at least able to make a living. Yeah, I mean, I really do feel that he does care about Americans. I mean, he shows that every day and everything he tries to do. Uh, so I think that, the things that I'm seeing so far have been positive. The people of Israel absolutely welcomed him with open arms. None of them were concerned about him being in Saudi Arabia, like some on the left tried to spin that. Oh, he's going against Israel. He's turning his back on Israel. Uh, yeah, I know, Barbara. That's good. Um, and so Israel, if Israel wasn't upset about what happened in Saudi Arabia, if they didn't take it as an insult to them, why does the press on the left like to think that? There's also a man that we talk about in here, Amir Sarfati, who is he goes around and preaches the Bible, and Bible scholar. He understands prophecy, end times prophecy, and he was thrilled and thought the president. He said, you can't go into somebody else's country and just talk down about them and tell them how horrible their country is and how horrible their people are. You know, so I'm beginning to think the Oval Office is bugged too, Carrie. I think it has been since day one. Yeah, well, Carrie. I mean, what about the sword dance? Trump fought off the mob, corrupt building officials, bad laws. If he wants to go gangster, who is to blame him? Don said. Jeremy said Trump is doing awesome every single way he turns. There is a fight for fake news. He's a great president. If someone thinks otherwise, they don't know the truth. I liked it too, Carrie. You should get his security in here. Is that what you? Didn't see the last of it. Oh, I hear you, Asher. Is a White House bug from Trump though? I don't know. Amir is a good, clear voice. Melania is protective too. Uh, if you're referring, does Trump record things, Patrick? I don't know that he does, but that doesn't. It's not the same really as being bugged necessarily. Yeah, yeah. If they knew Jared, they know he's pro-Israel, and he's very good friends with Netanyahu. So does that mean now that Netanyahu is bad? That's the thing that the pundits probably need to ask themselves. If he's Jared is knows Soros, but at the same time he knows Benjamin Netanyahu. So I guess those people who hate Israel will see that as a bad thing, and those people who love Israel will just say, well, those people run in practically a lot of the same circles, and that is what happens. Yeah, and Shauna made a good point. She said there's been no leak since the president has been on his trip. That is kind of funny, don't you think? Exactly, Carrie. You are allowed to record in Washington, D.C., it's not illegal. Dropping in on Israel was stopping by friends on the way. Yeah, bye. They got work done. Obama had improvements made in the White House, and some people say he bugged the walls. I believe that. The people that swept for bugs after visitors leave the White House should be planting them. Could be planting them. Yeah, Rhonda was talking about the hand slap from Melania. You probably saw that yesterday as they were walking down, I guess, from the airplane. Netanyahu and his wife were kind of holding hands, and she was walking a little bit behind Trump. Uh, and he kind of reached back to take her hand, and they say, she slapped his hand away. Maybe, she wanted to be where she was. I have no idea what the slap was, but the left sure made a big deal out of it. They're trying to say, oh, are they going to get a divorce? They're always talking about Melania as though she's an abused woman. And they look at her. I know. They look at her and they say, oh, look, she's smiling one minute when she's talking to him. And then the next minute she's very stoic and like very sad. Again, this woman did not grow up in American culture. She doesn't, have the same facial expressions as everybody else. Yeah, exactly, Barbara. Maybe her feet hurt and she was hot and didn't want to walk too fast. So you can't just take a snippet and say, oh, yeah, she's an abused woman. Well, Teresa, in Saudi Arabia, I think they did that kind of on purpose with her walking behind him because it's Saudi Arabia. She kind of walked a little bit behind him. You notice they did not hold hands because that's not something that you can do in public in Saudi Arabia. Shauna said Melania did that slap because you are not to hold hands. It is disrespectful in public there. Is that true in Israel, Shauna? I know it is in Saudi Arabia. If she were you, she wouldn't slap his hand, right? That's what Rhonda said. Um, yeah, so I mean, they're supposed to be tolerant of everybody else's culture, according to the left, except when they don't want you to be tolerant to everybody else's culture. She loved watching him dance. She wouldn't if you wanted out. That's right, Carrie. Yeah. It's okay in Jerusalem to hold hands, but not in Saudi Arabia. I saw the hand slap. What did you make of it? I thought it spoke volumes for her independence and the fact that she does not like public displays of affection and most certainly does not need a pacifier. I know, Monique. I think that's one possibility. I mean, she's not a. I mean, I don't really see her being very emotional and loving until she is around children, and then she seems to really be. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we don't know what the reasons are. There's so many reasons that that the left just wants you to believe it's this one. So where did it happened when they were walking off the plane in Jerusalem. So Netanyahu and his wife Sarah were beside them. Donald Trump was beside them, and Melania was a little bit behind. And I think he kind of reached back to say, come on up and be with the rest of us. Hey, Mike, good to see you. And so, I think that's what it was. Again, people want to make a big deal out of it. I think she's been extremely, gosh, I don't know. She's done such a great job at every event that she went in Saudi Arabia, everything that she went in Israel. Yeah, I mean, who knows what the hand flip was? I don't know. Maybe she's saying I don't need somebody to hold my hand. Yeah, she's going to be she is really good. I really like her. Maybe she thought it was the same in Jerusalem. You never know, Shauna. You never know. Melania is the perfect first lady in my opinion, according to Patrick. She has done an exceptional job, and she is a class act. The way when she goes to events or anything, she's always wonderfully dressed, well mannered, very respectful. I really like her. Really impressed by who she is and what she does. And so, again, it's mainstream media who wants you to believe that everything is horrible. You'll walk in all day in 3 to 4 inch heels and see how you feel. Plus, it's very hot there. Barbara, I was noticing that. I was thinking, my gosh, why? I know why she's wearing heels, but I can't imagine. Hey, LA child, how bad that would be. I mean, in trying to keep up with people who are hurriedly walking along. I would rather her be real and not pretend, and she does that, Mike said. True, Mike. Uh, Rhonda said she's very classy. Yes, she's model trained. And that's, again, too, I think why part of the looking stoic. You know, you don't always smile as a model, you do different looks, but it's mostly not happy smile. Like I said, when she's around children, she's like that. Monique said, my husband and I do not walk in the same pace, so we don't hold hands all the time, especially when around family and in open crowds of people. I'm not needy. I like my space and independence. Uh, Jerry said Rich was alive in the hospital. Just watched it and confirmed it. Yeah, Don was saying that too over here, Jerry. Well, I think you were out for a minute or something. She was a good model many years. They don't do those runway smiles. So she's not smiling as much as others think she should, but when you are on camera, her life has been not to smile. That's true. She's definitely not as fake as Michelle was. I don't know what Michelle was, to be honest with you. Well, from one minute to the next, 1 minute she's hating America, and the next minute she's just great. But I think mostly it was just hating America. That's the thing. I don't think you're going to hear Melania come out and talk down about America or how she never loved America. Here's a woman that came to America and became a citizen because she loves America. Again, met a lot of Russians, Mary Kay directors. They all spot very high heels and rather stoic. Yes, Barbara, that's true. Michelle has lost hope in the country. Yep, I remember her saying that. It turns out Seth was the leaker. Can this end Russian narrative? Carrie, it's not going to end the Russian narrative. I don't know that even Mueller, if he comes out with something, is going to end the Russian narrative. Because no matter what, they'll just come out with something else. They don't want to be satisfied by knowing the truth. That's not their agenda, and it doesn't fit their agenda to know the truth. Now, let's see. Shauna said this has real repercussions. The leaker is apparently in the ER and said Seth was stable. Then said everyone was pushed out of the room and no one could gain entry. And the next thing you knew, Seth died. That's not good. Monique, me too. I really like her and she's very well mannered. I don't do well in high heels, but I do love my 2-inch slingbacks. Yeah, I said if we don't know yet. Yeah. Asher, anyone remember Michelle saying all this for a damn flag? Yeah. Ken.com will speak today on proof. He said Rich was the WikiLeaks informer. That would be good, Jerry. And hopefully, people will believe him. I know some people, they don't think he has very good credibility. But they say that about anybody. You like your heels, Heals, Huey? Don said he wears Crocs. It's been going on about Russia since I was a kid. Bomb shelters, big business. Exactly. I hope it's legit. Otherwise, Hannity could be on the line. Speculation distracts us. We want truth only, LA Child said. Huey said Heels. Okay. So, yeah, well, I think it's very interesting. And as common sense would tell you that a guy's not walking down the street getting shot in the back and not robbed, and then the police call it robbery. There's something that's odd about that. I mean, come on. I don't know if it proves everything that, either way on anybody's agenda, but it certainly is. You've got to look at that and say, there's something not right about this. I don't know where Hugh is this morning. He's not here, Asher. Can you believe that? I know he's in Canada, but that's no excuse, right? And Gary too. Haven't seen Gary in a couple of days. If this all ties in and a hit ordered, it will be huge implications on who knew. They would fire him on his line. I can't read that. And the killer's professional hit or they got hit. Yeah, Barbara. Who knows if it were professional hit? Did they make it look sloppy on purpose? What if Seth Rich was an accidental shooting from a gang member? Could have been, Patrick. Could have been. I don't think it was accidental. That doesn't seem like accidental to me. I mean, it could have been a gang member, but it doesn't sound like it was accidental. Going over the list of how many in Hillary's camp that died is freaky. LA Child, I used to have a list of that, and it's amazing how many have died. Gang would rob him. They would certainly try, Barbara, unless somebody came along and were catching them. Don said he would like a $2,000 chain. Okay. Tough to prove, but nothing taken makes no sense. It doesn't. Let's look it up again and get the reminder out. I know, Ellie Child. I wish I had kept that list. Oh, I really do. I've talked about it on my shows. Sound sensors in the D.C. area have recorded the shots. Can be determined how far away shots were. They have video of two bodies over his bodies. I don't know what that done it is. The list is on YouTube. Okay, Marlene, if you have an ability to get that link, maybe you can share that with us. That would be great. Because there were a lot, and even during the campaign, one man accidentally dropped a barbell on his throat and it crushed his throat and killed him. The FOIA requests have been ignored so far in the case. Yeah, there's a shocker. Oh, he's talking about Seth. Okay. Yeah, Shauna, if you have the list of the people who died during the Hillary and Bill Clinton years that may have been connected to them in some way, that'd be great. If it's a cover up, how did they get everyone, cops, etc., to go along? That's what I don't get. I don't know if they got cops to go along with it or anything like that. I mean, maybe the people I think they're saying that they push people out of the hospital room. I don't know if the cops were in the room, but if they were, let's say they got them out and there were other people who were coming in the room that were, I guess, operatives. I don't know. Again, it's all supposition. Money buys a lot. Oh, okay. So WND.com has that list. Hey, Gary, good to see you. He was in Red Deer, Alberta at a school rally to support student rape victim by Islamic rape gangs. Wow. Gary, that's amazing. Tell Hugh we support his efforts in that. DC police investigating Seth Rich. Not very well, Rhonda. They say they have it open, but they're not doing anything. Uh, Carrie said, yeah, I'm a detective's daughter. I question everything. I know, Carrie. So do I. So somebody who's usually on YouTube is out today in Alberta at a school rally to support student rape victims by Islamic rape gangs. That's pretty incredible. Thank you, Gary. Tell him we said thank you. So I'm glad he's there this morning. That's amazing. Netanyahu posted a great video about peace. Very good on Twitter. Hello from Nigeria. Hello, Nixon. Or Nix one none. I don't know. My dad would say something is not right with this story too. Yep. Absolutely. Something's not quite right. Don't know what it is, but something's not quite right. And I do hope they can shed light on that. But again, I'm still back there, with hey, hello from Saudi Arabia. There are, still people with Dennis Montgomery. We haven't seen any information from Dennis Montgomery on people who were surveilled, supposedly. Thank you, Gary. Thanks for passing that along. So, there's a lot of people that aren't being allowed to speak or for whatever reason. Dennis Montgomery is said to have, credibility issues. Okay, well, let's bring him out. Let's hear what he has to say. And then let's be a judge of that. Oh, good, Shauna. If you could, you put it on your timeline. Okay, good. Lots and lots of loose ends everywhere. I'm just putting it all in God's hands. All I can do. Yeah, it's true, Carrie. But we can continue to research, and that would be good. Just continue to watch. Let all of it be exposed. Yes, Jerry. Let the whole thing be exposed, and then let everybody decide for themselves. How is that none of these investigations into Clinton crimes are never resolved? How come none of them ever really get started, Rhonda? Usually there are no investigations, especially all those people. L.A. Child says, pray for truth. Absolutely. I think the Clintons are, the luckiest people in the world. I mean, hey, Donna, good morning. They have never had anybody. Great, Gary. Thank you. They've just never had anybody coming after them. But why? Well, yeah, can you say Clinton dynasty, perhaps? Can you say power, money? Dawn. I've learned not to read Dawn's questions out loud. Hard to believe much corruption. Very disheartening. Hey, everybody. Dawn, sometimes I have to read your questions first before I read them out loud. Wouldn't you hate to be Hillary? Yes, for many reasons, Teresa. While so far Twitter doesn't seem to be allowing my posts on the Clinton victim list. Well, that's interesting. After all, they are, Shauna, they are sorry that they helped elect Donald Trump. Remember, that's what the co-founder said in an article. So, and that he'd never let it happen again. Yep. Well, see if you can get that posted. Maybe you could change the name to I don't know, some other name for the list. Yeah, put it in a sentence form or put a different name on it, like I don't know, whatever name you can think of. I know you can come up with something. And please, everybody, please remember to put hashtag expose the left on everything you retweet, everything that you post. Please keep that going. And if everybody on YouTube would give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. If everybody over on Periscope, Facebook Live would share, I would certainly appreciate it. Did it work, Shauna? Hey, from Scotland, how are you? Expose the left. Hashtag expose the left. We got to keep that going because Washington Post, Marlene was able to post it. 12 Clinton bodyguards have died. Huh. How coincidental. Yes, hashtag expose the left. Yeah, there are so many that have passed away. Why are you exposing the left? Why do you think? 19 people. Actually, there's 22 people are dead. 4 years is going to go by really fast. Hey, Barbara. And 60 injured, yeah. The header of the article I posted said coincidental? Question mark. Ah. I'll have to go. I don't know if you put my name on there, but I'll have to go. Remember to go by there and look at it and get it. So, yeah, 22 have died so far, 60 injured. 18-year-old was the first to die, and then an 8-year-old as well. Two innocent people that just went to a concert. That's so weird, Jonathan. Okay. So another thing that Trump is doing, he's proposing major cuts to health care and food assistance and other safety net programs for the poor to balance the budget over the next 10 years. And so basically, it's going to be one of those things. Hey, angels, one of those things where the left is going to start talking about how Donald Trump is going to try to start killing the poor off. I mean that, again, that's the left, and anything that you post on that, expose the left. Hashtag expose the left. We need to keep calling them out. Yeah, yeah, and that's what he's hoping for, is that people are going to go back to work. Don said if they can work, they should. Yeah, that's how it used to be. The left isn't responsible for this. Johnny, what this are you talking about? Nobody said that anybody or everyone can work. That's not the point. That's not what I read. Don said if they can work, they should work. That was the point. The left behinders, the LA child. Uh, so when we have Chris Christie, who's coming out also and saying, see, I've heard Trump tax reform will raise taxes for many in the middle class. Is that true? That's not what I've heard, Patrick. Yeah. There are a lot of people who can work, but for the last 8 years, they've not been made to work. They've been given the ability to sit home and have money. So looks like Periscope is freezing. Great. Periscope is freezing, so we'll have to try to get them back on if I can in a minute. Not sure why it's freezing, but it is. I tried Periscope on me on a device that I used to use, hoping that it would work, and of course it didn't. So let me bring them back in. Whoops. Sorry about that. Let me bring them back in. Periscope doing the same as it always does. Lick envelopes. Go back a few years pre-Washington Ash. Yeah. 7 times. Good to see you, Patrick. Periscope froze us up again. I know, LA child. Who knows what happened? It's the same old, same old. Barbara, good to see you back. Hello, hello, 7 times. So anyway, as I was saying, as I was saying before it bumped us off there, Chris Christie came out and basically said that if it were up to him, Flynn would have never been hired, and he said he told that to President Trump when he was candidate Trump. He told him that he shouldn't hire Flynn. So I guess maybe that just means that President Trump is not looking at Christie for any type of position. So Christie is getting upset about that. Maybe that's what it is. So if you could swipe and invite, going back on part 2 here, and if you would retweet the first part and the second part, please. Can't wait to hear from the president again. I know. So they're off to the Vatican now. That should be very interesting because apparently they don't really, see eye to eye. I know, Dawn. I forgot to put a quarter in the meter. They don't see eye to eye on things, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Trump was reportedly upset that Christie let a couple mothers go to prison and take the fall. Huh. That's what Patrick said. Ask Vatican if their wall should come down. Well, that's never going to happen. I hope they televise the Pope meeting. I did too, LA child. I'm sure part of it will be televised, but I don't know how much. I think they have a lot to talk about. Oh, for Bridgegate. Yeah, we'll see if anything comes out of that. The Pope is a dope, according to Gary. Perry Music Group, good to see you. The Pope seems in poor health lately, so we'll see. Huh, wow. Marlene agrees with you, Gary, about the Pope. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. I thought, talking about Trump's speech in Saudi Arabia, we talked about the other day. I think his speech in Israel was really, really good. I think the fact that, he was the first sitting president that's ever gone to the Western Wall. It's the first sitting president that has ever, on a Middle East trip, stopped by Israel. Did Obama even go to Israel? In the 8 years, I don't recall him going ever. But maybe that's just me because I try to forget the past 8 years with Obama. Maybe that's why. But he did leave something in the Western Wall. As you know, about that time, the Fox camera went out. Oh, I don't remember Obama going. I probably didn't watch it. Maybe that's why I don't remember it. My entire department lost our jobs in 2009, Monique said. I immediately got back into school to pursue my BA in psychology, found 2 part-time jobs that paid more than what I was earning, and mentored at an elementary school. Yeah. I mean, there you go. Monique took a bad situation and turned it into something rather than seeking unemployment or other assistance, government assistance. She went out and took care of it on her own. Some people can. If you can, I think you should. If you can't, then of course, you have to go for government assistance if you can't take care of yourself. God does always provide, Marlene said. Applause to Monique. Yep, LA Child said applause to you, Monique, for doing what you needed to do. Sometimes I mean that happens. People have to work to support their families, and some do, some don't. So do you guys remember this is not being talked about in the news? Take lemons, make lemonade, just don't sell it in the front yard, Don said. Yes, that's exactly right. There's a DNC lawsuit. It's not being talked about for fraud against Sanders during the election. You remember that lawsuit? A class action lawsuit that alleges that the DNC coordinated with the Clinton campaign to commit fraud. A man by the name of Jared Beck, a Harvard law expert, is the one who brought that class action lawsuit. The lawsuit is on behalf of 45 states against the DNC and Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who is the former DNC chair. They seek reimbursement for contributions made to the DNC during that time. And Monique says, thank you, LA Child. Yeah, it's not getting any media coverage, Patrick, because it's the DNC and it's the left. It's Democrats. So they're out, spewing hate and saying all these things about Trump while we're not getting anything out about them. This would be a good, hashtag expose the left, really, for people to sit down. Monique said it took her 5 years to graduate. She graduated last year, and she's so grateful for sticking it out. Yep. Good job, Monique. Absolutely. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but you understand what it means to have to work to earn something, and I think probably it means more to you. Your education means more to you because you work so hard to get it. It's something that a lot of people don't even understand these days. Um, you know, it's difficult, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So anyway, but that again, that's something that hashtag expose the left would be great to send out. The article I wrote on SusanKnowles.com, if you would send that out with expose the left, that'd be great. Marlene said, way to go, Monique. Took my mom rent years to get elementary education degree. Many years, I guess, or to get an education degree. 10 years, 10 years. Wow. Yeah. Sometimes it's what it takes. And it's okay. Again, you're doing what you have to do to get things done. So, but when you're watching stuff, on TV, just remember a lot of it is just being spewed from the left. LA Child says doing the right thing, absolutely. Just do the watching that the news and stuff like that, the coverage. Give yourself a break every now and then, and just know you're going to hear the worst part of it. Not watching it all. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Marlene. Not doing the left thing. I know you're probably better off. Wait till you actually hear something. That isn't just being spewed out by the left. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Thanks for being here. If you would, please retweet part 1 and part 2 so that everybody gets both of those things. And tomorrow I'll be using the same device again so that they won't be kicking us off with this device. Why that doesn't work all the time, I don't know. Tillman, goodbye. Gotta go. Donna, see you later. Thank you, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks, Keith. We'll talk to you guys later on Facebook Live. Thanks for coming by. Thanks, everyone. I may be on later. You never know. Take care. If I can get off of there. There we go. Take care, everybody. Doesn't want to stop. Boots us off and then doesn't stop when we want it to. All right, you guys on YouTube. We'll see you later. Take care.